Welcome to Behind the Curl, where connection is created with one another through the sharing of the personal natural hair stories and experiences, as well as natural hair education brought to you by myself. I am a naturally textured curly hair specialist. I am also your host, Amy Bush, and I invite you to join me as we celebrate what is natural, beautiful, and authentic.
My name is Amber, and I've been naturally curly for about 10 years now. Honestly, my goal is to have Disney princess hair where it's wider than your shoulders are.
Okay.
So I like a really simple daily routine. I just do conditioner and then rinse it out and then leave-in conditioner, a little bit of gel. Currently, I'm using the Kinky Curly Not Today and the Curly Custard with that, and then the Cantu Shea Butter conditioner. So yeah, as it gets longer, it kind of gets wider down at the bottom, and then it falls flat, and then it doesn't look great on my face. So
Right. So it just kind of needs a little bit of that extra shaping to support it as it's growing out to get that big princess hair.
Yes.
How long has it been since your last shaping?
Oh, it's probably been about 6 months.
Okay.
So it's been a good while.
Okay. That sounds good because I can see, but not too bad. You know, I can see a little bit of the edges are just that little bit frizzy, a little bit frayed for you. But it's not excessive, so I don't see that we need to take a ton off.
Okay.
I think that we can very well just kind of shape up the edges.
All right.
So that it feels a little cleaner, a little neater. And then we'll go through with some product, probably let you dry under the dryer a little bit. And then I'll show you how to kind of dry stretch it a little bit.
Okay.
That way you can get a little bit fuller hair and how to maybe pick it up and support it.
Okay.
And maybe even on day 2 or day 3.
Sure.
And so we'll talk a little bit about your program and what you can do for your home care at home to support it. And I'd also probably recommend staying maybe about 4 months in between your cleanups on those edges. And that'll help to support that a little bit better, because if you go too long, then it might end up getting a little draggier in between those.
Okay.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Behind the Curl with me as your host, Amy Bush. Well, guess what? Spring is in the air. I can feel it. I'm sure that you can too. Daylight is being extended throughout the day, and we're all getting excited and feeling a little bit of spring fever. And what that means is that most of us also want something new. And in this case, particularly our hair. But you know that you've been thinking about something new, but how are you going to pick it? How are you going to choose? And then do you go for the really big change makeover, or do you just do something small? And how do you know which way to go? Well, I'm going to give you a few guidelines to help you through the process of picking and choosing something new. The first thing you have to ask yourself is, what are you expecting from your new look? What is this going to do for you? What does it mean? Is it something significant? Or are you getting prepared for a new interview, new job? Maybe you met somebody new and you want to put your best face forward. Or maybe you've had some weight loss that you've been working hard on and you're feeling a lot more confident. So it's all dependent upon what it is that you are looking for, getting something new and a new change. Now, the other thing is you have to think about is how well do you adapt to change? Some people have no problems with it. You can do something completely different and it's not even going to faze them. They change their look constantly, try new things. But maybe, on the other hand, maybe you're not so confident. And maybe it takes you a while to get used to change, even if it's good. So you have to really think about that when you go in to speak with your hairstylist. Because if you're a little bit more on the cautious side, you might want to take things in little steps. So maybe you might go a little shorter with the face framing, or take a couple inches off. Or maybe if you haven't had layers, maybe just do some light layering versus going all out and taking all that length off and getting a lot of lift and changing that shape. And then what are your fallbacks or safety nets? Are you a tucker? Do you have to tuck behind your ears? Is that kind of a security thing for you? Or If you don't know what to do with your hair that day, do you need to rely on pulling it back into a ponytail or maybe up into a bun? Are you going to be confident that if you can't do that and it gets taken away, the ability to fall back on those habits, are you going to be comfortable? And then you have to ask, what are your styling abilities? Because if you get a new haircut, a new style, and it requires extra steps than what you normally do, is it something that you're willing to do? Or are you comfortable being able to section off the hair and apply your product differently? Because if you're not, then you want to definitely talk with the hairstylist and get some suggestions as to which haircuts are going to fall within your styling abilities and expectations. And how much time do you have to spend on styling? Are you one of those people that you have to get up at 4 a.m. in the morning to go to work? So you hit snooze a couple of times and you wait till the last minute? Or do you have a little extra time because maybe you work from home? Those are things to keep in mind. Lifestyle changes. Did you start working out? Maybe you have a new baby, or maybe even a new puppy, which can take up extra time, just like children can in the morning. Or maybe you got a new job, and that new job is now twice as far away as it was before when you were driving. And major life events and how they affect your emotional state. This goes into thinking about why you want to change and how big of a change should you make. If you're feeling that you are in a bit of a fragile state, then it may not be a good idea to take that risk and chop it all off. Could possibly have some regrets the next day. And then you have to think about, will the new haircut support your curls? Because if you have two ABC hair and your curls don't start but a few inches or several inches down from your scalp, and you decide to go and get that pixie, you have to understand that you no longer will have your curls because you have cut above the curl line. Now, if you're okay with that, then go on out with the pixie and then let it grow back out and have your waves and curls come back. But if you're going to miss the wave and the curl, then know that how short you cut your hair with the two ABC curls, that's going to depend on how they fall and if they're still there. Same goes for very tight, very curly, very kinky hair. If there's a lot of spring and a lot of retraction in the curls and you get it cut shorter, it may even look shorter than you were intending. The other thing you need to think about is the density. How thin or how thick is your hair? Some haircuts don't do very well with super thick hair. They don't lay the same, it doesn't move the same. It's too much bulk, too heavy. Same with very thin hair. With very thin hair, you might not get the bounce or the spring or the fullness of a cut that you're expecting and when you're looking at a picture. So try to find pictures of haircuts that are depicting the type of hair that you currently have. And then maintenance. When you think of getting something new, now you have to say, what is the maintenance on this going to be? And then you have to find out, does that fit into your schedule or even your budget? Because if you had longer hair and you were used to going 3 or 4 months between haircuts, and now you have to go in every 4 to 6 weeks, that's going to take more time out of your schedule, as well as you'll be spending more money. So if those are thoughts that are factors that are going to be important to you, then thinking about the type of haircut that you're getting and that maintenance is going to have to play into some of that thought process. And then lastly, what insecurities may you have? Facial features, body structure, your age, things that you view as imperfections, but also what are the features that you have that you love? Because the only way that I know how to minimize the things that we see as imperfections is by playing up the things that we see as assets or the features that we really like. So, if you feel like your forehead is too large, then having softness and framing is going to take that away, but it'll bring more focus to maybe your eyes and your cheekbones. So when you're balancing out your facial features, you want to look at pictures and try to pick pictures that are going to have features to the haircut that are going to enhance your favorite aspects or minimize the ones that you don't really want to see or put out there. And oftentimes we tend to be very harsh with ourselves. We're our biggest critics. And when we look in the mirror at ourselves, we don't see ourselves the same as our friends and loved ones do. And when they look at us, they see us very differently. Things that we might see as an imperfection or an eyesore, they may actually look at and see as a positive thing, or maybe they see it as unique and beautiful. So when you're talking with your friends and your family, ask them what they think are some of their favorite things about you, some of your favorite features. What makes you beautiful? What makes you unique and makes you you? And in that way, as we are looking at ourselves, maybe we can see what they see and what is beautiful. Well, I hope this gave you some ideas and some inspiration as you are thinking about getting that something new. These are all questions that I think about when I'm speaking with my clients when they want to go with something drastic or maybe not. But kind of by diving in a little deeper and getting these answers helps us to find that haircut that we're looking for and with no regrets. Much curl love. Thanks for joining me again today, and I look forward to meeting up again next week. If you have really enjoyed listening today and would like to have me address any questions you may have, or if you are inspired to be interviewed on this podcast with your story, with either your success journey, or you would even appreciate extra help with your curls, send all correspondence to me at ambushedcurlacademy@gmail.com. I would love to add your voice and inspire other listeners. Now, I have an opportunity that is special for all of you that are hairstylists, or maybe you are not, but you know a hairstylist. And if you were inspired by what you heard and seeking to expand your curl education, I would like to invite you to visit the Ambushed Curl Academy website. There you will find my online curl education course I created in order to inspire other hairstylists. If you have any questions, I can be reached at ambushedcurlacademy@gmail.com, and I would love to hear from you. Thank you for joining me today. It has been a pleasure to have this opportunity to celebrate natural curls with you. And until we meet again, love your curls and embrace the natural beauty that is uniquely you.